Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're back. Ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. So we're going to utilize all of the tools we have at Stochastic and Odd Shopper. I am Eric Lindquist. This is Live with Lindy. Turn down that music. Turn that music down low, girl. Oh, yeah. It's business time. That's what Flight of the Conchords would say. And I, took a shower. And here we go. Took a shower. Came back out, put the baseball cap back on because I don't want Lannister 13 to freak out. But it's time to break down some NBA and MLB action. We got MLB underway. Wouldn't you know it? Miles Michaelis still sucks. Shohei Ohtani. He's on a warpath. Had a feeling that would happen. But having feelings aren't always good in baseball. Having feelings aren't always good. It is funny because last night, if you watched Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks, Shohei Ohtani just going on a warpath made sense. Why is how is Miles Michaelis a real thing? And again, I was looking at the walk. Glad we didn't take the walk, so that would have been a loss. And I feel pretty confident that Shohei Ohtani home run seemed like it made sense, but plus 180, plus 185. Yeah, we had to pass on that. And he goes, yeah, as does Aaron Judge in the early window. So I'm just going to be sweating some of this. Xavier Edwards hits a bomb. What are we doing with our lives? Xavier Edwards hitting a bomb. Gotta wipe that. I just spit on my computer. That was disgusting. All right. We got ourselves a lot of goodness. I had the NBA streets for the NBA people because NBA Lindy's took a backseat last night, had to on a 15-game MLB slate where it started in the morning. It just had to. I don't mean to. I told you I'm going to keep grinding out this NBA. Last year, or was 2 years ago, people flipped out because I didn't have NBA. We ended up putting it on the tail end of those MLB videos, but that was when I had producer Jacob. Now it is on me and myself to give you the best content I can, and I'm not going to put out garbage shit plays just to get a video on and get a couple of clicks. That's not going to ever be me. But we got Charlotte on a back-to-back with Moussa Diabate questionable. That's wild stuff. And Pascal Siakam in for today. That's fascinating. That is a lot of points on the Charlotte side. But LaMelo Ball, I loved him for DFS yesterday. Didn't end up betting anything of his. He gets a double-double in like 4 seconds. Like 2.5 quarters through, he had a double-double. Came back in for like a 2-minute stint and left the game again because, they blitzkrieged. Just blitzkrieg popped Phoenix. So there's that. Ant is questionable again. I think there's some stuff we can do on Pick'em to take advantage of such things. We've got a pretty clean game here with Atlanta, Brooklyn. We've got Cat and Nick Richards. I mean, is this the day that every center sits? Diabate, Towns, Richards? If so, there's going to be some rebounds available to the people. Something big happened here. Downgrade to Walter Clayton, which I don't even know what a Toby Ohtani is. Like, what are we doing? Who the shit is this? Who's Toby Ohtani? Is that a real person? What? I don't know who that is. I do this every day. Probably why 0% owned by anybody in year-long fantasy. Just going to point that out. Good heavenly Christ. This is the NBA this time of year. It is just terrifying. It's terrifying stuff. Let's make some bread. Let's absolutely do it. Unless you're running a daycare in Minnesota, in which case you're making money all the time. Yo, happy Friday. Hey, Kyle B, what's up? That's a very cute kid you got there. What does that say? Dad's bud. Is that what it is? Dad's little bud. That's super cute. Less than a month for me, I'm going to be a dad. That's wild. This is the month I become a father. I actually become your daddy. Well, not your daddy, but like an actual daddy. Just bet the Pacers. Free money since Siakam came back in. I think there's something to mine out of that. I haven't even pulled up dunks and threes yet to get a baseline. Because again, NBA streets, man. We got a week. I'm going to grind it out the whole rest of the way. And yesterday, had a couple of like bailout deals. Luke Cornett was nice. It sucks, though, when you get 7.5 points of CLV and lose on a spread bet. Clippers, plus 4.5. What are we doing, broskies? What are we doing? You looked like the team on the second leg of a back-to-back. That's for sure. You kidding me? Yeah, Framber already 5K, so we ended up staying away from that. J Metal K. Oh, wait, that's in the Discord. Lindy Discord, something you guys can sign up for down below. But this is the last day that we're running this. I think it's a good idea to check it out, don't you? Don't you? Do you know what I'm talking about? Live with Lindy. Exclusive deal. Lindy 100, free 7-day stochastic MLB trial. I'm going to be sharing that here on screen with you as well. The MLB version, you simply go to stochastic there, you go to props, you go to the MLB section over there, and you sign up. $40 value, completely free. Please give me feedback. Give me as much feedback as you can. I have feedback myself, some things that I would like to have changed up in the tools, but we got super sharp people on a day in, day out basis doing all of that work, plus made millions of dollars in the DFS streets. Now we're bringing that goodness over to the prop streets. That's why we share it on screen here in the NBA streets. And always nice to have day of data because I have to kind of finagle my way through night before. And hey, I've done a pretty good job doing that for 5+ years. But you know what's even better? Having ready-made curated data right before games start. Like right before games start. In fact, got San Diego, Boston. I want to say tipping off, but it's obviously pitching off. And then Toronto White Sox. There is something to be said about like Dylan Cease, but I'm going to be steering clear of that one just because we know Dylan Cease. That stuff looked ridiculous in that first outing here. Eduardo Rodriguez, under 5.5 hits, I do think is pretty appealing. I am also on his under strikeouts, so it kind of makes sense there. Not a big Grant Holmes guy, but minus 122 on PrizePicks. There's something there for us. Mitch Keller, 2.5 earned runs is a big number, mainly because you put yourself in like 2, you start putting your runners on base and you get pulled. And getting pulled when there's 2 earned and there's like 1 on and you're in the 5th inning, usually a good thing. Good thing for your under earned runs props. Lots of runouts that are there. Bailey Ober, I'm going to steer clear of that because I hate Bailey Ober's existence, although market-based looks all right. We've got quite a few tools here that make a lot of sense. A lot of sense for you, and you can check this all out free. Quite a bit of value that I did find on Pick 6 as we were doing it from a market-based perspective. Adolis Garcia, 1.5 total bases there. I get that it's Coors Field, but there's a lot of really good pick'em value here. And hey, Eduardo Rodriguez just making the cut, just making the positive EV threshold. We already bet that on the MLB research show. We are cruising, my friends. So you can check all of this out individually for games that you're going to be watching, games that you're, just going to be betting. Cincy, Texas. We can go to the top of the board here and take a look at what's kind of giving us some fits there. That'll be lovely. Corey Seager going to take Brady Singer yard, so that'll be enjoyable. So many games. And also, I'm paying attention to this weather because my parents aren't even going to go to the opener today, and they go to every Twins opener. So there is that. Live from the course, what's good? Fuck you. I mean, I want to be there right now. You kidding me? It's like 80 and perfect out. The cactuses will come get you, though. They'll come get you. I'm very comfy in my back house, though. I'm watching a lot of baseball. We're going to get some bets down as well. So let's finish out our NBA stuff because Toby Ohtani caught my attention because that's a made-up creative player. Absolutely insane. The stuff Memphis is doing is just absolutely insane. But I don't expect Walter Clayton to play. Toby Ohtani, I broke down Lucas Williamson because I didn't know who that was. Chicago Loyola. The hell? Derek Whitehead, Adama Ball. But the point is, Javon Small might actually play a little bit more. Meshack might have to play a little bit more. That would be very nice to remove 24 minutes and make it more consolidated for those guards. We know Memphis runs a pretty tight rotation, pretty tight ship. Gary Trent, questionable. Hi, Usman Jang, as he started to come to fruition. Damn it, Dylan Dingler, you would be the guy who hits a home run. McGonigal absolutely laced a fly ball for us. Nothing to show for it. 433, what a cannon. What an absolute cannon shot from that. The White Sox, 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. And now Murakami. Can you get that hit for us? That would be very nice as well. Murakami. Do an origami. Be fun. He's a freak. Rounding out NBA. Squirrel. Orlando, Dallas. Pretty straight up situation there. And then New Orleans. You got Trey Murphy playing on the front end of the back-to-back. I would be surprised if he played both ends of it. They go to Portland. Portland gets down with them bad selves in that second half there. We can take a look at some box scores too. There are enough teams on back-to-backs where I think it's something that's very considerable and a worthwhile activity for us to kind of dig through. In New Orleans, they're now in the actively let's still make sure we lose basketball games version of the world. Yeah, Jeremiah Fears step into a larger role, even with Trey Murphy out there. That was quite annoying. Not that he played crazy minutes, 26 minutes, but starting to play a little bit better in the second half of the season. You know who's not? DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray did not play well at all. If you watch that game, he was turning the ball over left and right. You got to be in hell playing Portland with those wings and Drew Holiday. And yeah, there's a lot of length out on the floor for Portland. So lots of wild stuff that was going down there. And I'm sure he's not stoked about, the fact that he's probably going to be sitting here in this spot. Notice how he is already listed doubtful there. We can pull up the NBA injury report while we're at it too. All you have to do is type in NBA injury report. We can look at the most recent one, make sure that we're updated, that we're paying attention to the right things. It's kind of an important part of betting NBA is like knowing exactly who's going to be playing minutes, what the minutes range of outcomes are, and then attaching appropriate rates, which we can do with these stochastic tools as well. Let's filter this out by Pick'em too for my Pick'em lads, Miladies. That's FanDuel. PrizePicks, we want Underdog, we want Pick 6. Those are going to be the trio. We're going to build out a card in NBA and MLB, or maybe a combination of the two for PrizePicks Underdog for every sport on the board today utilizing these tools. Right now, 50-50 market-based. Again, the under 19.5. Why was that existing this way before? Well, something changed pretty drastically in the market. Changed pretty drastically, and that is Walter Clayton getting downgraded. So you can see a lot of Memphis pieces. Got to keep in mind when you get that injury news, exactly what's changing. And is it already listed on the injury report? I'm assuming that it is. Yeah. Where are we at? Walter Clayton, questionable. Right there he is. So it's something to keep in mind here as we're building through this. We've got lots of baseball, and I'm going to refresh this because San Diego, Toronto, White Sox, those games are underway. Murakami hit. Got a Murakami hit already, baby. Broke that one down for you this morning. Broke that one down. I almost bet single, actually, so that would be especially tilted. Well, I'm not tilted. That makes me happy. Murakami. All right. San Diego, Boston. I'm going to watch Wilyer Abreu hopefully go yard too. But there was a little bit of home run value actually existing in the tool a little bit earlier. And I think we can highlight some of those as well. Christian Javier earned runs. That is definitely going to be a piece of the portfolio. Not even like a market-based play. I do a lot more origination in MLB because there is so much surface area for books to cover and also liquidity. It gets very tight around points, rebounds, assists, points plus rebounds plus assists. Every one of those markets in the NBA streets, it's very spread out in MLB aside from home runs. Well, I mean, sides totals obviously dominate everything. So yeah, run line, money line, totals, that dominates everything in every sport. But outside of those liquidity markets, we're talking strikeouts, home runs. Those get a lot of liquidity. Like more so because people are interested in betting them on a day in, day out basis. Totally get it. When you find some of these earned run opportunities, you can almost take the market based. I'm not going to say throw it away because that's terrible advice, but top down betting is very, very important. And, we're always paying attention to such things. But if a market isn't getting a ton of liquidity and it's getting an opportunity for you to jump in an advantageous number where you're nearly a run higher, it is useful. Freddie Freeman. Everybody gets a home run. Everybody gets a home run. Everybody gets a home run. Freddie frickin' Freeman, man. Cash the Underdog card already. Whee! This is why you want to check out all the stuff. MLB, this should be a dub. Quick dub in the morning. Early in the morning. Early in the morning. Early in the morning. Early in the morning. Hell yeah, brother. That's why we put in that work. That's why we do it. This is quality programming. You're welcome. You're welcome. What'd you miss? Nothing yet in terms of building. Nothing in terms of building. Just Freddie Freeman covering the bases. We got the underdog card across already. Bang. We are cooking. Fact. We are cooking. We are cooking. We are cooking. Nice to get that on the board here. I had a couple of the optimizer plays that I threw in as well. Overall, feel pretty good about that. Press strikeouts. Yeah, that was always going to be a thing. Ended up pairing that with Bauer because I had a gimme pick to do that. And Bauer home run was popping for me. Milwaukee. If you guys are looking for something, let's see if it's still that way. 3.03, not as fun. 3.65. Damn good fine. Sakiti one more time, get low like an 18-wheeler. But we got ourselves so much value here in the MLB streets. So earn runs. Let's attach Christian Javier to something already. Just want to double check that I'm not way off base. Yeah. Sitting very close just from a market-based perspective at the moment. And we're much higher with our projections. So Christian Javier, that is nearly a full run difference. That is ginormous. It's got an only 0.7, but it's a little bit higher. And I like that the market is in alignment with it. So Christian Javier, let's get him in our lives. Not Javier Baez. That is not the Javier we're looking for. Earn runs higher. Can I get much higher? Can we find something quick over in the NBA streets that we can attach to it? Ooh, we don't want to stay anywhere close to those ones. What is this? 2.7. That is not right. Scotty Barnes? No. That's incorrect. We'll get that fixed. Those are low. Jokish-like numbers here. Cedric Coward, 21.5 he's sitting at here now. Sitting 22.5. That news did just drop. And Cedric Coward could be walking into more minutes. I mean, look at these individuals for Memphis. This Walter Clayton piece is a pretty big piece of news. Adama Ball, he's shooting guard, so he does fill that position a little bit. That's a little annoying. Not a lot of crazy wing depth. That's where Lucas Williamson has a tiny bit of utility. They'll go small because they have to anyway, but Toby Akani, 6'8". So there you go. That's going to be your backup. Cedric Coward, 24. Dama Ball again, 6'6". He can play a little bit of 3 if need be. Not that I'm just looking by height, but there's other things in playing the 3 in the NBA. Is what it is. Is what it is. Daddy needs a new bicycle. So 21.5, I'm actually leaning towards that over as it stands right now. We'll get the tools updated here purely because that news just dropped on the Memphis side. Afternoons might be a little bit more dead in terms of the updates, but we work our way further down here. And right now, I'm going to go a little bit more towards origination, and we can go a little bit more towards market-based later. Just kind of want to see what else is popping that isn't Memphis related. Sandro Mamukashvili, no. Quinn Grimes, Joel Embiid got upgraded to probable. Another wild run out there. In Toronto against Memphis. Walking in Memphis. Walking with my 2 feet off of Beal. Do you really feel the way I feel? Got baseball. More baseball to comb through. God, this tool's fun. I'm going to get the rates tool up too, just because I know I'm going to be utilizing that as we go along. Why does this matter so much? Well, knowing what you're getting out of the guys when they're getting floor time, kind of important too. Snipe a couple of low-hanging pieces of fruit. We like fruit. Don't say what you're thinking. Don't do it. Yankees, Dodgers, Stacks win all the money. It looks like you better have the Dodgers. Pajes, Freeman, Betts, Ohtani. Just 5-mans against Michaelis. Who would have thunk that? Who would have thunk that? My guess is just about everybody, but, don't let facts get in the way of a good story. Never let that happen. To the NBA streets. Obi Toppin, 16.5 PRA, and we only have him in around 20 minutes. He played very few minutes last game. I'm not sure if you saw. That's kind of why you're probably here, is making sure that we pay attention to things every single day. You got to pay attention to things every single damn day. Like the fact that I don't even have YouTube up on my iPad because I was watching baseball. What were we talking about? Obi Toppin. So you're guaranteed to get a decent amount of minutes. And when he's on a floor, he does a bunch of shit for what it's worth. So at least there's that. Like, you're not getting hard stiffed here right from the get-go. Yeah, every player on the Dodgers hits home run today. Yeah, it's Miles Michaelis Day. That doesn't shock me. Me McGonigal, me too. Why wouldn't McGonigal do that? For that $5 card for the people on Underdog? We cashed the main box, and now we just need this human being. That's what pissed me off so much about watching that at bat. 406 off. I mean, I thought it was gone immediately, and it just died. Please, McGonigal. Please. We sniped too good of numbers to not get rewarded for such things. Don't do this to me. 9.5 sitting there. Again, Embiid is now in. That's a little bit different. Little bit annoying. Probable. So Kelly Oubre's minutes are definitely slashed, but still going to play a bunch. It's basically a 7.5-man rotation. You get Bona in for like the 13, 14 minutes. Embiid will play 33, 34. And Oubre, Grimes mixing in, VJ Edgecombe, Paul George, they're still not going completely nutties, even though he went completely nutties against Washington the other day. Probably the most impressive Paul George box score in years. That was the weirdest sip of coffee I've ever taken in my life. I drank it to avoid the microphone, and it kind of tilted my head, and I felt it. I bet it looked weird. Bryce Sensabaugh we have is starting with EJ Harkless out today. That's always interesting because Bryce Sensabaugh likes himself Bryce Sensabaugh. I think it's sensible to Sensabaugh. Horrible matchup. But this points plus rebounds, I could get down with my bad self today with some points and rebounds. Only available on PrizePicks right now. So I'm going to queue that up and just make sure that we start building it out. So right now, negative 2.2% there. I'm closer in line with him being at 30 minutes. So we can go and change that. Put him in for 32 minutes. By far, 23.5 points plus rebounds. It's pretty close over here on Underdog. See how Underdog's kind of got to step up on it there. But that points plus rebounds looks just freaky naughty. Make it that. I think no matter what, if I add a minute or two, I mean, obviously the points are nice. That's kind of featured on Underdog there at 20.5, 22. But I like that points plus rebounds. Minutes are gold for Sensabaugh there. And if you even put him at 30, we're building out Flex Friday. We can build out a Flex Friday. We can get this thing built out. I'm a big fan of Bryce Sensabaugh. So not even just taking the tool allows for you to change the rates. It allows for you to go through and have your own, ball. Ball. Makes me think of that GIF where it's ball, the Asian guy in the yearbook photo. It's pretty great. But 23.5 points plus rebounds. That's going to be a placeholder for us on Bryce Sensabaugh. I think that's sensible to Sensabaugh in that spot. Other things that we've got going in the tool today. Many a thing. Back to the top bets we go. So this is about 23.5 PRA available. Bet 365 minus 115. You should definitely play that. I like that. Actually, let me join you. I know it's the Pick'em show, but we gotta, said NBA. Got to be able to cover it for the people. So let's get that in. The worst part of programming is Folgers in your cup. It's not Folgers, it's a vanilla latte. Don't mind me. I'm a bitch. Just a man who wants his vanilla latte on a Friday. That's all it is. Been up since 5 a.m. It's all right. Let's go. Let's go indeed, California Voodoo. Did you tail the underdog cards? Did you tail the underdog cards? Did you see the early show? These are important things to me. Let's go to the Joel Embiid impact. So I'm going to go to just starts. Not that Joel Embiid, when he plays, it doesn't just start, but like just for the sake of knowing that it's going to push Kelly Oubre to the side. And then you could go bench. So I'm actually going to do that. Games that he started and games that Kelly Oubre came off the bench. So we're going to find Joel Embiid started and off the bench, because there were games like obviously Paul George was out, things of that nature. But now that it's fully healthy, I do want to get what it looks like with him coming off the bench. There we go. That looks good to me. Equal sign, boom. Let's fetch those stats and see how that's looked from a baseline perspective. Because Kelly Oubre has that 9.5 points number just sitting over at PrizePicks. Just sitting there like a duck. I've never seen a blue duck, but I'd like to see a blue duck. That's quacktastic. On a per 36 basis, I'm going to guess the usage takes a hit to everybody. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Red Rover. Send Joel Embiid on over. Man, Kelly Oubre. Boy, is that tough. 9.9 per 36. All right. Maybe we bumped the brakes on that, Eric. Rebound rate way up. Kelly Oubre. This is why you do the rates. This is why you do the rates. That is a very low usage mark for Kelly Oubre. So we're going to steer clear of the atmosphere over that one. So there's that. Scotty Barnes, 8.5 assists. That under's looking all right. He's been ramping him up. We've seen Brandon Ingram questionable quite a bit, but he's already in for today. Jamal Shed does exist, but obviously in this starting grouping, he is the one doing all the distributing. So it gets a little bit scary, but yet that's a pretty gigantic number there. Let's do that. Another rate opportunity for us to put in that work, Devin. Don't give up. Another one. Let's look at the Toronto Raptors. We have no Emmanuel Quickley. So we're going to take off the court Emmanuel Quickley. We're going to add off the bench Jamal Shed. Because like understanding these circumstances, it's going to do a good job of putting the rotations together for us. So these two variables, putting them together. Let's go, Lindy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kevin McGonigal should have gone yard by now for that. That should be 100. That should be a bingo. As Inglourious Bastards. Don't mind me. Also, while this is updating, oh, never mind. It just got through. Per 36 basis, let's look at these assists because Jamal Shed's still ramping them up and Scotty Barnes at 6.6. Now, he has taken on more of a ball handling role, but that's a pretty decent minute sample size, 594, 1,200 possessions. Feel pretty comfortable with that under. The other baseline, of course, is the matchup. And the matchup is obviously good, but there's blowout concern. There is definitely blowout concern. Should we get 10 in on this? Kick this party off? think we should. Christian Javier, higher than 2.5 earned runs allowed. Scotty Barnes, lower than 8.5 assists. Good way to kick off the day. We're going to build a lot of these out. We're going to keep going. Just keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Kevin Double, don't. Why will God let us not have nice things? Why? Just leave the yard. Get me to the back of that St. Louis bullpen, please. What is it, still 2-0? Of course he hits a double. What was it off the bat? I need to know. I need to know. Kevin McGonigal, 102.5. That was the first one right out the gate. Oh my God. Green and Carpenter just tuning it up. Would have been a homer in a couple of parks, but McGonigal, guys, I mean, I can't do it better than that. I can't do it better than that. All I can do is try to get the hard hit balls. That's more predictable. I can't get them to leave the yard. They tend to leave the yard this week. They have tended to leave the yard. We have lots of home runs today, but boy, does that piss me off. So we got this lower on Scotty Barnes. Let's pair this with something else here as well. We'll get back to the Javier one and some of the MLB goodness that we got going. One more time for the people who have just started tuning in. This is live. Lindy 100 is a free 7-day stochastic MLB trial that you can check out all the tools that I'm showing you on screen here for Pick'em, for sports betting, for anything that you might be doing in your lives, no matter what state you're in. You can change what you have on the screen. Like, let's say I'm back in South Dakota. PrizePicks and Novig. I know this because I'm from there. Got all of the Pick'em. Got Novig, Kalshi, of course, Better, Polymarket, PrizePicks, all this. Then there's other books that you can add to it. You could have DraftKings display so that you have a baseline for it. So many good opportunities, no matter what state, no matter what you're doing. He cashed 2+ bases. Yeah. Did talk about that. Haven't made a specific just total bases bet yet. I'm waiting. Took the under in Drake Baldwin yesterday, cashed that for Underdog. Didn't matter because Ketel Marte is a doucher. Just needed you to get walked one time, and you let off. Bro. God, was that tilting. Is under 1.5 total bases kind of popping for us once again on pick 6. Pick 6 has a lot of value that we were finding from a market-based perspective, and we can actually change that and go whoop all the way to the market side of things. See if there's some stuff that we really like. This is using the odd chopper algo here, being able to parse off which sports books we like the most for certain things. And Christian Javier's stuff looked like shit from what we broke down this morning. Pull up the probable pitchers, pitch modeling, stuff plus. Christian Javier, what are you doing with your life? Why was your stuff so bad? I think it was like the worst pitching plus almost on the slate. Yeah. Cantillo, King, Singer, McGreevy, Lorenzen, Ober. These are all just guys who are going to be pinatas. 84 WRC. 84 pitching plus. Not great. Oh, 78 pitching plus and location way off because that's what it tends to be. Stuff isn't abysmal. It's below average. Pasquatch under on a single. Wild times, friends. Wild times. But yeah, this is just going to be market-based. You can see the EV goes drastically down, and Taylor Ward, under a single, really grading out well in the market. I know that it was something that we were under on as well. You see 0.7 there, but don't forget, there's a lot of variables that go into that. Pasquatch. Looks like the singles market has some value for some unders. And pick 6. There were a couple early that I almost pulled the trigger on. There's a boost in there today, so we can find a better way to utilize that, I think. Then we can lean all the way into our origination here too if we want to. Kind of take a look at what's going on. Got a question there as this is updating. Lindy, quick question. What you thinking about King 6+ Ks? Can he still get there? I didn't like it. I did break that one down. Let's see. Where's he at? 0 Ks in the first. I didn't like over 5.5. I did fire up Gray, and he's got 0 through 2. So shout out Sonny Gray, 21 pitches, 0 strikeouts, but he's now going to get to the spot where he better pick a couple up. You got to pick a couple up against Broken Sheets, against Cronenworth, against Camposano. And he's been a reverse splits strikeout guy. We covered that this morning as well. So he's still got time. I don't love 0 strikeouts through it, but at least no hits, no anything else. Super clean and very low pitch count. 21 pitches through 2 is very, very nice to see. So not hitting the eject button yet. I'm not reading any "don't kill myself" books. Eduardo Rodriguez we're going to add that too. We'll put that as like a solo endeavor. Lower on hits, and let's do the Javier one. As our good friend J Metal K would say, this is our box, and we got some boosts to use later. You best believe I'm going to do that. But for the time being, I want to build out some cards, give you guys some options. Eduardo Rodriguez, Christian Javier. We've established those two. We got the Barnes piece. So now we go back to the NBA. Again, these are all positive expected value cards. We're going to get, $80, $100 of stuff down. I thought I was going to do more volume this morning even. I thought on a big slate like this, we would even have more MLB. And I'm sure I'm going to find some more as we get into this afternoon window. Philly, Colorado, Chicago, Cleveland. A lot of good stuff coming up for us later. You struck out Contreras. He's on my fantasy team. Go figure. That's how that works. Remember, it's super early in the year. When it gets hot at Wrigley, we get that wind out at Wrigley. It gets hot. That place can play small. That is a wind-affected ballpark. Every time DeMar DeRozan is just popping. Every time in assists, DeMar DeRozan just pops. It's actually super annoying. But we got Nick Richards questionable. That's not going to affect the Giddy assists as much. What is going to affect Giddy assists is the fact that he's playing the Knicks and they're 14-point dogs. That's not good. They've been giving more run to Dillingham, Sexton as well. Part of that is, Simons has been hurt and you're not playing for anything this year. Let's check another thing. So the Knicks are slow as can be, but in terms of factors, they obviously have some defense. They're not going to have Jalen Brunson on Josh Giddey. This much I can tell you. Jalen Brunson will be guarding Trey Jones. Trey Jones. It will be Mikal Bridges, Lil Josh Hart. Doubt much OG Anunoby, but overall, I want to see a couple of things. Assist rates. I haven't been checking back in with this as much. Haven't had a lot of assists on the card other than Luke Cornett last night over 1.5. He had 3 instantly. Well, actually he had 1 in the first couple minutes, and then he had 2 bang bang beginning of the fourth quarter. That was good. Cashed out the Luke Cornett stuff, but the Knicks right down here. So a little bit better than average at holding their opposition assist percentage. And if you remove Nick Richards from the equation and you put Yabu out there, that's a lot more threes getting taken, less interior buckets, and those are the easy ones to convert on the assist end. So I would like to see Nick Richards out. I don't know if he ends up in or out. And obviously Karl Anthony Towns sitting there with a Q tag. Man, there's a lot of big centers that could impact a lot of stuff. Diabate especially. I doubt we even have Kalkbrenner props, right? I don't know who that is. I'm not going to lie. What the hell? Sometimes Underdog takes you to random places. Oh no, he walked him. Was it a challenge? Did you get ABS'd? There you go. Grounded in double play. No strikeouts for either 1 through 2. Pretty wild. Yeah, I did not like Michael King strikeouts today. That was pretty apparent. Willie Abreu going yard would have been good, but can't have nice things. Grounded into fielder's choice. Painful. Painful experience. Yeah, Dodgers have 11 through 6. They were down 3-0. Dodgers will do that. Very advantageous hitting weather. But I'm curious, what is Miles Bridges? Where are his numbers at? Miles Bridges played pretty nice basketball last night. He was a bright spot in a very dim world in the Pick'em streets. Have him at 5.5 rebounds because Colt Brenner is not going to be the same. So 20.5. It's unfortunately inflated to account for the situation. Because, yeah, PRA wouldn't be all that nifty. Rebounds, we've currently got him 5.3. But you remove Diabate, and there's no question it becomes a better situation for him. So take a look at Charlotte. Then we'll do the Knicks. I think the Knicks obviously matter big time too. God, Sheets, what a joke. What a joke. Thanks, Toast. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, pal. Thanks. Just have to point that out to me. Ugh. Drop kick me. Actually, don't. That would hurt. So let's run some rates here, shall we? Just said we were going to do... I'd rather do Cat anyway. Cat, Richards. I ended up, Yabu hooked me on rebounds. Got some CLV on that when you got Nick Richards ruled out. That was hurtful. It's very, very hurtful. Yeah, let's do the Knicks. Anybody else I need to take off the floor at the moment? No. Literally just Cat that is questionable. So the Cat will he, won't he thing is very important. So we're going to take Cat off the floor. I love hanging out with you guys, talking a little ball, utilizing some great tools. Might be a tool myself. I don't know. Depends on the day. Depends on the day. We all have good days. We all have bad days. Jalen Brunson, pretty noticeable usage bump, but I don't think we're going to get something that is going to not be middled for that news. And, you know, it is Chicago on the other side. Doubting we have Mitchell Robinson listed anywhere. Absolutely we don't. So we're looking at the core Knicks guys. What can we parse out if we get Karl Anthony Towns out, and how can we kind of like establish where they should be? 26.5 points for Jalen Brunson. That would obviously come way up. Way up. Oh, I see that Clay one just staring at me in the face there. 26.5 points there on Bet365. That's probably somewhat advantageous as is. Juiced a little bit there. That news came out a little bit later, did it not? The reason I ask is like late day downgrade relative to, was it earlier in the day? Yeah, even Underdog knows. It's not like Underdog doesn't know the news. Just throwing it out there. We're not breaking anything. It's just a question of if we can read the tea leaves correctly. Ooh. Trying to read the tea leaves, my friends. That's what we're here for. These are all starters from yesterday. That doesn't do me a damn diddly squat of good. Karl Anthony Towns downgraded to questionable 3 hours ago. So we're talking like noon, 11:30 Eastern. Check on his elbow for a fantasy team. Yeah, you might be fucked, sir. Please, sir, I'd like some more. And you can see that Underdog, another thing that they tend to do is when you're waiting on this news, they'll do the downgrade here. PrizePicks, as much as I hate those demons and all that other bullshit, at least it stays a standard play so we can build out for the 6X on the 3-picker and not get a downgrade. But like if you attach this and you attach another 0.88X or something like this, like under a 0.89X, it's still paying out a little bit better than what it would over on PrizePicks. This still does as well, but we're never going to play 2-pick cards on PrizePicks, so it's almost a moot point. IO assists. Anthony Edwards, questionable. Gigantic Q tag here. Sitting at plus 110 here, but you get the push. You get the push on 4. This is an extremely valuable play. This one is extremely valuable. Because that over a 3.5 to get there, and you're telling me it's plus 110, best available to get to 5? That's very advantageous because you get the push on the 4. I've been doing that a lot more. Just because if you go to like the adjusted numbers on Odd Shopper, and we go to assists, we go to IO, plus 108 there at, where's that? WinBet. Shout out WinBet for existing somehow. We go to the 3.5 number, minus 202 best available, or no, minus 182. You're telling me I get this and this becomes the push? You kidding me? Because 4.5 where the market is kind of at, plus 110, this is a very advantageous number to be getting. We should all be running to get IO assists. Four. Where is assists? Where's this guy's assist? There we go. Found it. Got that. I also like this Reed Detmer 6Ks for what it's worth. I might fire this one up and throw this in as well while we're at it. So we got pitching outs here. I want strikeouts, and this is still to batters, correct? No, I changed that. I like to have this organized. I'm an organizational freak, so there is that. So I go NBA, MLB pitchers, MLB hitters. How my brain works. Don't probably want Javier Baez total home runs. Thanks, though. I'll pass. Thanks, though. So, IO, that's just beautiful to be locking in there. But Reed Detmers is kind of the baseball version of it, where he's at 6.5 here, plus 120. And again, it can be skewed towards the over still, but we're talking minus 165, minus 190, minus 190, minus 185, minus 178. I'm getting the push on that number as well. So covering your push in a dramatic fashion where it's skewed towards that number. And then the 6.5, what's the under going at here? Minus 150, minus 150, minus 150. So we're getting a little bit more value on the Reed Detmer 6K side of things. So let's fire that up so we get some PrizePicks in there for the people. I'm a man of my word. Anybody important at bat for me? No? Hey, we got a strikeout. Let's throw a parade. Son of a biscuit, Sonny Gray. I couldn't have liked over 5.5 more at plus money. Got CLV on it, but as Polly Pocket would say, Polly Pocket, CLV is a lie. There's a lot of liquidity in strikeout markets, though. This we know. Keeping this rocking. Giving Virgin Atlantic some free advertising, I suppose. Shout out me. I haven't flown Virgin Atlantic in a very, very, very long time, if ever. Not that I can recall. Alien. NBA and MLB PrizePicks. From Live with Lindy. Alien. 0.25 units if you can, because limits are a bitch. Linking it for everyone so we can make some money together on this fine day. It's a fine day to be fine and stuff. Okay. Tails. Let's take a look. It's in our book. Spooky tea leaves. Is Sheehan coming out? I have no clue. We haven't even looked at that game since 94 runs occurred. My guess is yes. We'll see. Maybe you give him another batter or two. Just to... Oh, no. He's staying in. He's staying in. Not that he's going to get to 5.5 strikeouts or whatever the shit he was at. I'm an Emmett Sheehan guy. I did not like Emmett Sheehan today. I'm a big Emmett Sheehan guy. Owen Casey on the board. Another one from Miami. In Toronto, Chicago. What's Dylan Cease doing? 4 strikeouts? Yeah, I'm glad we stayed away from that. And Sean Burke coming in as the piggyback. 3 Ks already. George Springer's out there stealing bases and shit. Cool. Really cool stuff. All right. So over on Tails. Fired it up. Ayo Dosunmu, Bryce Sensabaugh, Reed Detmers. Wait, did the Sensabaugh one get bumped? Wasn't it just at 23.5? I think I locked in a bad number on that now. Great. Didn't even notice it got bumped. What do you bet for Ayo? We like the 4.5 assists. Shit. Whatever. Son of a bitch. I like Sensabaugh a lot. I hope he loads the bases. Yeah. I faded Sheehan and DK Cash and he's very owned. Good. That's why you're my boy, Blue. That's why you're my boy, Clintwood. DK Cash today was 100%. No doubt about it in my mind. Not a single thought in my mind. Framber Valdez, Dylan Cease. There was no other cash option that I would have rolled out today. If you looked at Valdez's stuff, I get St. Louis hasn't struck out against lefties. They haven't had a lot of plate appearances, and they're not going to strike out a ton against lefties. But like in cash, the chances of Valdez getting bludgeoned in that new ballpark are virtually none. I say that knowing full well that Valdez has had these pockets of time where he's just disappeared and nothing makes sense anymore. But I didn't play MLB cash. I just played tournaments today on the show. Wanted to have the show for the people. Ooh, we're going to get a McGonagall at bat live. Are we? Get on up. Javier Baez. Oh, you're going to strike out to Soriano. The chances of him not swinging at something down in the zone right here, right now, are about 0. He's going to get 3 straight sliders. There's just no planet where Soriano gives him a fastball. There's no planet where Soriano gives him a fastball. None. I know Boston strikes out against righties, but guess what? It's also early in the season, and I definitely didn't like Michael King striking out today. His strikeout stuff looked a little bit weird to me. We went through the data this morning. We went through Michael King. Not with that attitude. My attitude is exactly what I want my attitude to be. Okay. Oh my God. So notice how I said he's going to throw 3 straight sliders. I'm not watching this live. I'm assuming this is incorrect. I'm assuming that isn't correct. Because that is just ridiculous from the catcher perspective. Are they even going to be able to show the pitch if it's over here? Are they even able to show it over here? Welcome to the ban list. Why would we ban Sonny Gray? We're not going to ban him. He's at only 38 pitches. We're okay. We still have a chance. It's plus money. Plus money. Let's get 2 in the next frame. I mean, his pitch count is very, very low. Do I feel phenomenal about it? Absolutely I don't. Hey, Boston on the board. Michael King just getting... I can't tell. That looks not really BABIP'd, but that's the difference of like watching it live and then like actually looking at this. We'll find out. We can always find these things out. This is what makes sports fun in the year of our Lord 2026, is being able to do this. Be able to know what's real, what's not. Also, this was hilarious. I love it so much. ABS is wild. Also, how are the Red Sox 1-5? That's not good. None of this matters early in the season. Padres did this last year, didn't they? They just shot themselves in the foot. All right, McGonagall's on. Here we go. We're going to finally get a live at bat to Sweat. I got $25 on plus 600, so that's 150. We got the $5 on that Underdog card that the other ones hit. That'd be 115 and change. Be a $265 home run from Mr. McGonagall. That would make me happy. That would light up my tingle. Tingle my McGonagall. Here we go. Leave the yard, ball. Turn this to 6, please. He is so unbelievably due, it causes me physical pain. This guy is so due to go yard. Dylan Dingler's hitting bombs. Oh, he's just throwing changeup right off the bat. No. We're going to need 3 base runners to get him back around. So we got 2 innings to get 3 base runners. Unless the Cardinals make a comeback, which I don't think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to do it. Oh, Framber. All right, back to bets. Back to work. Back to work, everybody. Back to work. Lindy, how do you feel about Coop, 35.5 PRA, and Scotty, 8 assists? We like the under of 8.5. The under of 8.5 makes sense. We just ran the rates for that a second ago, and pretty flat. Blowout concern. Jamal Shed off the bench coming in obviously is not the best thing in the entire world, but it doesn't really change the rates as much as you'd think. Lindy, are you on live before lock tonight? No, I'm not. I'm supremely in the betting streets. I'm just betting and watching sports all the live long day. Friday is my day off from live before lock. Well, I guess Saturday, Sunday too, and then Sundays during NFL season I'm on Sundays. But Padres so hot and cold. Last year, basically every game I hot and fade them every game. Yeah, I don't think about hot and cold streaks as much. I mean, obviously, we only have this year's data to look at for this year. And if somebody has a physical ailment and not doing anything, that's what I'm saying. What's going on with TJ Friedl? Why does he have more than double the strikeout rate ever? Well, because it's a small sample size. And also, every bullpen's healthy. Every starting pitcher is healthy. Everybody's kind of getting going. Like in a month or two, I'm assuming TJ Friedl will not have a 30% or whatever the shit K rate. But how do you feel about Derek Queen, RJ, Tatum, 6 assists? I don't think, and I'm kind of like playing this out in my head. Let's finish out the Knicks, and then I'll jump to Trey Murphy. I don't think Trey Murphy plays tonight. We already know DeJounte Murray's out. So I do think that there is a lot of utility here, but there's a special utility with these two. They played more last night than you might anticipate with Trey Murphy in, but DeJounte Murray was brutal. Like, was just flat out brutal. So we go to the box score from last night. I pulled this up a second ago, but it's important. Doing our due diligence. I think that's the word, the 2 words for it. Due diligence. Not hyphenated, I don't think. Also, hang on. Whoop, boo, 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 boo. Eh. It's baseball season, baby. It's baseball season. Hey, we got that baseball season going. All right. Is number 1 pick Griffin worth their money? Yes. Yes, he is. Zips and Steamer, we broke him down a little bit this morning as well, but number 1 ranked prospect. Crazy, decent. I think his hit tool is actually better than his power tool based on Zips and Steamer. 135 ISO, 23.7% K rate. So they're assuming it's going to come up a little bit here. 583 BABIP, that's absurd through what, 5 games? Absurd. I mean, you can control some of your BABIP as a hitter. Pitchers, sometimes they're just kind of in their own little world, and it is what it is. Yeah, too early to read too much into anything, but it's also, we want to try to find the things that are real and the things that aren't. I didn't think Miami against Warren made any sense today, and my data was saying to attack it. They have 2 home runs, but like not exactly the guys I would have expected in Xavier Edwards. And I guess this Casey fellow has been okay, but yeah. We had a pretty condensed rotation for Portland, but Derek Queen, 28 minutes. Jeremiah Fears, 26 minutes. We're going to remove DeJounte Murray from the equation. Matkovich ended up getting ruled out, so there's that. He's questionable for tonight, so my guess is Matkovich comes in and plays a little bit and probably streams this kind of situation. And right now, the presumed starter is Evis Missy. There's a lot of times that I will take some calculated stance on Evis Missy. Today's not really the day against Sacramento. In fact, it's almost always Maxime Reynaud day, isn't it? Oh boy. Max Christie, 1.5 assists, minus 142. Oh no. Do I really want to do that? I mean, that's as good of a market-based situation as you can run into. Javon Small, 5.5 assists is a low number. Oh boy, we like that. Something went wrong. Yeah, you went wrong. What do you mean something went wrong? Fix your shit, Underdog. Oh my God. Exit and come back. What is this, amateur hour? We wants to gamble with our friends. Yeah, the Blue Jays have been just straight up poverty. All right, that's synced up. So there is a little bit of a downgrade playing the Scotty Barnes under assist with Javon Small. So we can have Small in something else. And the Knicks. We finally got there. 20 minutes later, we're back to the Knicks. So usage bump, Brunson and Anunoby. In terms of assist rate, Tyler Kolek goes down, which is interesting. But I guess if he's going to share the floor with Alvarado or anybody else in that other section, more than likely he just doesn't play unless it's a complete blowout, which is definitely live to be the case against Chicago. They've got him projected for 0. I've got him projected for minimal minutes, but Miles McBride is back in our lives. So yeah, you're probably not going to see Kolek whatsoever. Rebounds. That's obviously a boost to Josh Hart. Obviously, Josh Hart gets a boost. OG Anunoby a pretty sizable boost too. So can we get points and rebounds to be something in that 26.5 range for OG? Looks like Roth gave us the go-ahead on Minnesota, so we're gonna have to do something funky there. Joe Boyle rules. Remember when we got him at minus 115 last game and now he's minus 170? Yeah, your boy knows what he's doing sometimes. Not always. Sometimes I'm a dipshit, but most of the time I'm better. Better than not. Better than not. Minus 153 there. Obviously not going to be an underdog card here for total earned runs. And last thing we can maybe take a look at. Where is he at? Strikeouts. Joe Boyle has stuff. 5.5. If we're getting the go-ahead, there's a world where that's fringe. There's a world where that's fringe for me. Joe Boyle rules. The walk rate is always what's freaky. Nothing last game, which is just hilarious. Because that's all you can do is just pray and hope he doesn't have one of those like random 5 walk games that he pops up from time to time. Because he's all right at keeping the ball in the yard. But yeah, 5 walks per 9 is not the droids you're looking for. Last year against righties, struggled a little bit, but again, the lefties are the ones you're mainly worried about. Outside of Buxton, the lefties are the ones you're worried about in Minnesota. Buxton from the right side is something. Ray first 5. Can you give some winners already? I already gave you fucking winners. Get off my dick. I gave you PrizePicks. I gave you these. See how these are green already? We got green popping up already. Green already. That already cashed from this morning. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want from me? Got Scotty Barnes, Christian Javier, 2.5 earned runs. That's in play. We got this. We got Christian Javier and Eduardo Rodriguez. And we're building out NBA. What do you want from me? What more do you want from me? What do you need? No, not Anthony Edwards. Maxime Reynaud. Oh. It means something went wrong. Try again later. Not going to let me combine the two anymore. Not going to let me do that. I don't think the double-double is what we want. I might end up betting his double-double individually. Kyle Tucker, get naked if you're a Dodger fan today. Everybody gets a home run. Get naked. And Anobi, that's insane. Plus 160 is a pretty decent number. And his rebounding adjusted line, because we have all the alts here at Odd Shopper now too. I don't think enough people know. Not enough people know. You're better off just going to the double-double there. Plays enough to get 10 boards, 14.5 points, 15.5 points. Kind of fascinating stuff. Shop for the best odds every single day. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where. We're just looking for that hot diddly dog. We got some true odds that are pop. Ooh, that Clay one. No, we don't want to go rebounds for Clay. His points were on the fringe for me earlier this morning. Turn my air on. There we go. Getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes. So we go by true odds. And should be somewhere here. Clay at 9.5. It's fringe. It's fringe. Super, super fringe. Sitting minus 115, no vig. Decent little spot. Decent little spot. Nothing crazy. Don't forget that boy told you kick that dirt off your shoulder. Oh, you in NBA right now? Yeah. Looking at NBA and any value on that 10 in Colorado? No. I actually lean towards the under. I don't think Nola and Lorenzen are going to be all that particularly successful. I will say this. There is one home run that kind of tickles my pickle for you underdog folks. Alec Boehm, plus 850 on Bet365. And yeah, DeJounte Murray now officially out. Trey Murphy, probable. Glad we didn't do anything there yet. Glad we didn't do anything there. And Karlo Makovic remains questionable. So fascinating. But Alec Boehm, he's been sitting with this plus 680 over on Underdog like all day. All day. That's beating everything on the rec books besides Hard Rock. I'm not a big Alec Boehm guy, and I don't think he has the best launch. But we're starting to get into a spot where against Lorenzen, if you're going to get contact, which is kind of what Boehm does, doesn't strike out at all. Doesn't strike out at all. We're seeing the best launch for him so far. It's been a week. It's been a week. I don't want to go crazy. He was at 6.8 degree launch last season. This would be exceptional if this were to maintain. I don't think it does, for what it's worth, but considering he's a contact guy, considering I'm not getting a lot of walks typically out of him, 15.4% this season, that'd be way higher than his career average. So yes, I expect negative regression on that. Duh. He's not Luis Arraez. I expect negative regression on that. Duh. He's been around 6%, 6.6% his entire MLB career. I guess 8.4% considering early on in his career, he was walking more, but generally it's going to be half of this 15.4 number. You're basically removing, I'll make it 15% and 7%. 22% of at-bats are going to finish off in a K or a walk. So 78% of the time, I'm looking at getting a batted ball in play. Unless he gets hit, in which case that doesn't. So we'll add another 3%. We'll make it 75%. So if he gets 3 at-bats against Michael Lorenzen, can maybe X out one of those. Maybe. But more than likely, you're getting 2.5, 2.4 balls in play. And if this launch does continue, if we can continue to see that, and we get a market outlier, which is kind of what we're looking at here, again, there's enough edge here to just make this a play on Bet365. There's enough edge there, but in the interest of the pick'em people, I think there's something here. We'll put that with Javon Small. And rather than just playing it, you might have noticed those $1 ones. They rotate around a lot of the advantageous multipliers on Underdog. So we got Alec Bohm. What was the other one that we liked that we were looking at? Maxime Reynaud. I don't think 26.5 PRA is the droid we're looking for. No. So it doesn't matter as much in a market like this. So Colorado, it's cold, wind's blowing across. If he pulls the ball, it's probably coming back into him somewhat. It's also typically a one-way market. So for odds outliers, you can't just blindly bet every market outlier in double doubles and in triple doubles and in home runs and expect to make money long-term, because sometimes the breaking number is going to be another $100, $200 higher. And if everybody's holding around 700 and the true probability is around plus 900, you're losing money long-term, even if that plus 800, which is a market outlier, or plus 850 in this case, you make that bet 1,000 times, you're still losing money over the long term. But I can make a case projecting out Alec Bohm, especially if we're talking 16 plus degree launch angle. If he's improved on launch angle, if that was like all he talked about in the offseason, if that was like all he was trying to change, I don't think he can change it to the point where it maintains at 16 degrees, but it doesn't hurt my feelings to see it early. And it's a guy that I know I'm at the plate most of the time getting batted balls in play. More than your average major league hitter. He doesn't strike out a lot. He doesn't walk a ton either. He doesn't have one of those 10+% walk rates. So somebody who can take a pitch from a Michael Lorenzen and make it work for you. Again, home run projections early in this season, they're not just a concrete number. There is a lot that is changing. Maybe 3 months from now, 4 months from now, I'll have a more concrete idea of where I should be setting those numbers, what I'm looking for specifically, when I should be jumping in on them, what time of day I should be betting them. But right now, I'm kind of taking best available and I'm digging into everything. And Alec Bohm, if we see improvement there, Michael Lorenzen gives up fly ball contact to righties, 16.8 degrees. For a home run, we need north of 18 degrees, preferably around 25 degrees. But there are a lot of opportunities against a pitcher who doesn't have a lot of great strikeout stuff and a batter who does a pretty good job of putting it on ball. 14.7 degrees against righties so far this season. 2025, again, that number is so much lower on Alec Bohm. Only 7 home runs the entire year. Now, if we played 150 games for Alec Bohm this season and he only had 7 homers, is it a good bet? Is it a good bet to be taking him at plus 600, plus 700, plus 680, I think is what we were just talking about? No, it wouldn't be. But if the launch has changed, if we're going to be averaging 16, 17 degrees, if we're going to see this change, I don't mind taking a couple of shots on that. And that's specifically for pick'em people. I mean, it's kind of in line with Circa, pretty sharp book, although they do give us an under, which I appreciate. Not a one-way market. We know that they calculate this home run somewhere between plus 675 and plus 1,000. We know that because they're not going to offer something at minus 1,000 that should be minus 1,000 that should be minus 1,200. They're looking at it within this window. Same thing for Bookmaker. Same thing for Bet365. But again, sharper book here. Now, Circa's not stupid. They're looking at this too. But in the event that the launch holds true, I think he's going to hit a lot more than 7 home runs against righties, especially where he's batting out in the lineup. He had some injury stuff last year too, so Alec Bohm didn't play a ton. See how there's fewer pitches that he's faced there, despite the fact that he's their everyday third baseman when healthy and not throwing balls into the dirt or hanging out with Aaron Dolan. I'm funny. But we got ourselves so much opportunity if this reigns remotely true. So let's combine Alec Bohm one more time with one more thing. Barnes, that was the other thing that we had, right? Under 8.5 assists. So doesn't take a lot to go a long way. Splitting it up. Now, even further, you could go dollar, find other positive E-legs and just play $10 worth on Alec Bohm that way. Played $25 worth of Alec Bohm that way. But we found 2 positive EV legs, 2 legs that we like for today on the NBA side. And I think getting 15. So this is plus 1359. This is plus 1359. I think having those specifically along with Bohm make a lot of sense. See how I already had Bohm down here? I'm not a liar. I do my work. I make sure that we are finding opportunistic places to fire up goodness. Miles Turner rebound lines. Sure, we can take a look at that. Boy, I hate him. Once again, we've got the stochastic MLB props tool, Lindy 100, 7 days free. 7 days free for what it's worth. You know how I know that? Because it says it on your screen. Lindy 100, free 7-day stochastic MLB props trial. Let me know what you think of it. Very important that I know what you think of this tool and anything you'd like to see added to it, because I got some other things that make a lot of sense for us. But in the NBA streets, I wanted to look at OG Anunoby quick. $5.5 plus money. Obviously, if Cat plays, you're pissed. So keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time all I know. Gonna be a better bet. But at 22.5, OG Anunoby, his baseline 5.6, 18. You're talking 23.6 per 36. You're going to downgrade that a little bit facing Chicago. 6.5, 21. Fast-paced matchup, adding some more possessions to the New York side than typically. Maybe 2.5 possessions at least. 3, well, probably more than that. They're a slow-paced team. Chicago, second fastest team in the NBA. So 103. 95. Yeah, no, 2.5 is about right. 2.5. Meet at the middle. 100 and a half. 100 and a half. Drop this by 2.5. Yeah, 100 and a half. Feel pretty good about that. Gotcha. Makes sense. Well, how about just for more basic high liquidity efficient markets like points per, Yes, if you have a market outlier in those, you can blindly take those top down and be set. You could probably, again, you could probably still find yourself some really advantageous spots in those markets that I'm talking about, home runs, double doubles. We've definitely found them. Dukes Nukes is predicated around that, although they're very, very minimal, like $1, $5, $10 stuff. What's the Javon Small play? Along with Alec Boehm home run. Alec Boehm home run. Probably going to bet it individually, plus 850 as well. But Javier Rodriguez, or sorry, Christian Javier. I just did it myself. And Eduardo Rodriguez, lower than 5.5 hits. Got that. Barnes, Javier in this one. Javier going to give up some runs. Straight off of the props tool here. Also, his over hits looks all right, but better bet, plus 112. Better bet. Earned runs, it's hard to find a better line than this for pick'em for us in baseball. Just like market-based plus projection-based. Generally speaking, going to be a lot more bottom-up betting that occurs for me in the MLB. It's gone well for the years. I'm going to keep doing it. And then obviously, you know, like this week, I was up like 11 units going into yesterday. I lost about 2. Home runs was north of 7 and then lost 1 and change there. So I'm just below 6 units for that. So still feeling all right with the process of those. But like if something gets really off, if I get really off kilter, I'll obviously check process because, well, I think books are only getting more efficient, only getting better at this. Maybe this month does maintain forever because they want competition. They just want people that put money onto their book, and we want to punish them for wanting that. And make sure that we extract at least like 25K from a book before you get limited. That's what happened on PrizePicks for me. I think I made 60K if I'm being honest. I think it was more than that. Find this. Got a lot over there right now, but let's look at my history. Taxes. My profile. I bet it looks okay. We want to make sure that we make a lot of money if we're going to get limited somewhere. We want to make sure we make a lot of money. You don't want small wins. You want big wins if you're going to get limited somewhere. Worth it to me. Worth it to me. Made about 30 grand. Probably, it's like more like 25 grand total because that's gross winnings. So, you know, overall, I'm all right with it. Like, I extracted a number of it. They don't want to have all of my action. I'm okay with such things. But over a long term, make sure that you want to play the game. You know, if you learn to play the game, boy, you love to play it right. You want to get the most money you can. Anything for Kobe Brown? He's had some, well, probably don't want to look in baseball if I had to guess. Kobe Brown. What do we have for his baselines today in the NBA streets? Rebounds look okay. He's got there's a number of different iterations of this starting lineup, but he's in it right now. He is in it. Maxi points. Yeah, if you're looking for anything on the Kobe Brown side, it's basically over 5.5 rebounds or pass. Points slight towards the under, but not positive EV at the moment. And it is a much better bet, it would appear, than it is a pick'em square. Maybe points plus rebounds if you're trying to get some type of exposure where the minutes are still there. And again, we're way against market right here. PrizePicks limited me years ago. Yeah, I was very smart I think, with how I went about it. And then one morning you'll wake up, even though I put together like, here are my demon cards, here are my whatever. Like, I did some stuff to try to make sure that it didn't look like I was doing anything stupid. But then, yeah, that's good. Worth it. 60K, if you can extract 25K plus from an account, I think in my opinion, that's worth it. Some people would say, I just want to keep playing. Well, you want to win, right? Like the goal is to win. And eventually winners get limited and you have to live with that and you deal with it. There are things you can still do. There's still things you can do to, again, I'm not going to get in that conversation on this. You know what to do, boss, brah. You're smart. You've been in the streets for a while. I was looking at points or assists. Going to be a little thin, I think, on the Kobe Brown side for assists. Maybe rebounds plus assists, 7.5. Not available on PrizePicks. It's just getting. You're going to find better spots. You're going to find a lot better spots on a board like today. There's just so many things. Like right now, Io looks awesome with 4 assists, and that's with Ant in our projections. Anthony Edwards is in the projection set right now. He is sitting there. He is available in our projections. We have him in for 32 minutes. That's lower than you would typically see for Ant, but again, he's also coming off of injuries and things of that nature. That 4 could look awfully 5-ish come lock. It's not changing off of 4. It's not going to dip to 3.5 because Ant's in. Yep, that's a fact. Lindy, you're one of the goats of this Benny shit. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm just a guy who likes to find angles and put together puzzles and likes researching sports. Not a bad way to live your life. Is McGonagall going to get another at bat, or are we just completely toasty toast? I would love for St. Louis to go up in this baseball game. I would love it. And they're already doing all this pinch hit shit. Gorman came in for Urias, win. We got to keep in mind some of these things too, because they really pulled the trigger on this as soon as that was probably a miss by me, if I'm being honest. Mason Wynn did get a hit, so that's a little annoying. That would probably screw it up, but Urias is not going to face righties. Detroit coming in with Finnegan, they don't want him facing him. So when they come in with these righties, Furman, this would have been an incredible short of a batter. Wild. They had a lot of base runners to go third, and then he showed up again in the 4th. So he must have led off the inning. No, he didn't even lead off the inning. Sagasi did. And then Pozo's safe on an error. Struck out. That was a long time ago. Struck out swing, struck out. 4th, single. Fielder's choice. Interesting. Or it's listed wrong, because that seemed like 48 outs in the 3rd inning. If there's a line outlier, like say one place is a points line at 14.5 for -110, and everywhere else is 15.5 for -110, you said it, yes. You could blindly take the over of 14.5 at -110, and you're going to make money long term. Depending on which player it is, I suppose. Is it a player that is projected for 16 minutes, or is it a player projected for 30 minutes? What I'm saying is like 16 minutes of a Jonas Valanciunas when he was in the rotation for Denver, you're not getting as big of an edge on his 14.5 or 15.5 because his range of outcomes for minutes is still very, very tight. Like he's not going to play, well, I guess blowouts, but the point is like if a guy is a good producer and you're seeing an outlier like this, that is such an absolute slash. Like you should absolutely be taking that over 14.5. And it would be smaller the highest the line is, right? Because I mean, is it every book that's going to be around 15.5? Because then you're probably going to say, sweet. But if it's only one at 15.5 for -110 there, you should take the under of that one that is at 15.5 for somebody with another. Again, that's where kind of understanding the player probably helps too. In the NBA, that is. Because like Io, his points are going to be advantageous if Ant sits. Like this would be an advantageous. That would be advantageous. Oh, McKinstry. 1, 2, 3. So we got to get one base runner to get McGonigal back up. That'd be so fun. It'd be so fun. White Sox are beating Toronto. I want to point that out. Dylan Cease. Not the best outing for Dylan Cease. This White Sox team is going to be a problem. We stayed away from Dylan Cease. And he had 4 strikeouts through 2 and then got hit up a little bit. Murakami got that single right off the bat for us. That was nice. So we'll see. Just a Lindy with a rocket launcher. That's me. But the reason we want to do these live with Lindy's is not because I want to sound smart. It's because I'm trying to look for value too, and I'm just turning a computer on. And also, if you have questions, I like to answer them because, part of the fun is that if you follow somebody, if you watch Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks, I'm telling you plays. I'm telling you guys what to do. I'm telling you what I did is usually what it is. And I tell you the reasoning, usually in a quick synopsis. But here we get to actually go through the process. We get to actually go through and talk about identifying plays, identifying value. And the tools do a lot of that work for us. Like that's what's so beautiful about what we built over at Stochastic is like now I can get to the meat of it, the meat and potatoes of it much quicker, and actually teach you what to do and how to utilize some of these tools and have them work for you. Odd Shopper, having an odd screen that you rely on, that you trust to be able to find value top down immediately. We can group this by edges in the points plus rebounds market. Kelly Oubre popping. We talked about the minutes uncertainty here with you don't want to just blindly take everything, but I can tell you one thing. Over long-term sample sizes, if you are snagging some of these where it's plus 100 and it's like minus 135 at BetMGM, you're probably going to be in good shape. And sitting in front of an odd screen, some people are like, "Oh, you can't just, you're just sniping bad numbers and you're going to get limited." Yeah, to some extent you are, but guess what? We can also build out single game parlays. We can do smart kid things. Again, you don't want to just be betting, everything for $100 here and then play a single game parlay for $10 and think you're getting away with anything. You're not. But if you can appear casual, never hurts. Never hurts. Sonny didn't have it today, did he? No. We got to strike out the side. We got to strike out the side coming up next. It's got to be quick. They got to be quick deaths. It's gotta be, he's not gonna get the 7th inning. So it's gotta be 3 strikeouts here for Sonny. That's a bummer. I felt pretty confident about that at plus 100 being a good bet. And King's got to strike out both here to go over his, 5.5 minus 145. I didn't like that. So at least like plus 110, I'm all right with it. You're not going to win absolutely every single one. We went through the data points. We talked about why it is that San Diego, 6 righties in the lineup. There's that. It's annoying because I want to win every bet, but I'm not going to win every bet. That's just realistic. It's nice because I almost won every bet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like legitimately, almost everything that I played hit, which is fun. Those are fun days, but it's not realistic. So we just try to keep stringing good bets together. Oh, God. I have to catch up. There are some questions about other things. Lindy, make a call. Tell Sony we need 3 more kids. Yeah, we need 3 of them fast. He's not banned. We don't have ban lists. I'll bet everybody at a certain price and a certain number. Somebody asked me about, who was it? Maxi Points. Maxi Points. Joel Embiid's back. Joel Embiid's playing basketball today. That makes it annoying. I will say this. Embiid 28.5. Maxi has some wild shooting splits with and without Joel Embiid. I'm not sure if anybody has noticed this before, but if you go to NBA Wowie and we look at Philly. Let's go to this season only. And on the floor, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. I want you to see this. I need you to see this. If Add More Funds would like to work today, there we go. There we go. It's the annoying thing about having 48 tabs is sometimes it takes longer than I would want it to. So look at his true shooting, sharing the floor with Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey, 60.5% true shooting, 57.1% effective field goal percentage. Keep those numbers in your mind, okay? Keep those numbers in your mind. Keep them. You got them? Where did he go? This is really annoying to me. This is very annoying to me today. All right. 57.1%, 60.5% true shooting, 24.4% usage, a little bit lower, obviously, there. We're going to take Joel Embiid off the floor. You ready for this? I want to remind you, 57.1%, 60.5%, 24.4% usage, okay? Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time all I know about shooting splits. Boy, are they slow today. All right. 53.7%. Sorry, it should be lower than that for what it's worth. There you go. 52% effective field goal percentage, 58.1% true shooting, but he does get more usage. He gets 6% more usage, but this true shooting, man, this effective field goal percentage, man, this is a different kind of efficiency. So, like, Maxey is far more efficient with Embiid on the floor. It makes sense. Think about floor spacing. Think about what the defense has to account for. Joel Embiid's on the floor. You got to worry about Joel Embiid. When you don't have Joel Embiid on the floor, you're worried about Tyrese Maxey and every so often DJ Edgecombe. Every so often Paul George. But Tyrese Maxey gets a lot more open looks, a lot more easy buckets playing alongside of Joel Embiid. I think it's pretty efficient, if I'm being honest, at first glance. But want to point out how ridiculous that is. Did the music go away? Or did the music go away? No, it's still there. It's just very quiet. There it is. Still got the music. Just had to make sure. So let's keep that in mind, friends. Philly also, generally speaking, middle of the road pace. So we're looking pretty standard, really. 42-34, with a lot of that being without Embiid. Not too shabby, but they get to play my Timberwolves without Ant, and that's kind of what this spread is screaming is Ant's going to sit. That makes me like that 4 assist play a lot on PrizePicks for IO today. Makes me like it a lot. Also, I didn't see a McGonagall update, so I'm going to guess that I'm sad. Did he even get up? He didn't. Parker Meadows. Torkelson. Brutality, man. That first ball not leaving the yard is so hurtful because we boxed that in perfect. We had the perfect little box for this. Freeman. Munetaka Murakami. That would have been a nice $118 perk. But, hey, home runs, you're not going to hit them very often. When you do hit them, you want to make more money over a long-term sample size. Paul George, first quarter, over 3.5 points. We're trimming down per 36 to be per 9 minutes. That kind of typically what he's been playing in first quarters. You would know better than I would as far as like trimming it down that way. I just kind of think about how the rotations work for the entire bulk of the game, advising people betting markets that are readily available to everybody, both betting and pick 'em. Paul George usually, checks out kind of at the tail end. He could have foul trouble, which, would definitely change an equation. He played an entire first quarter here. Subbed out for like a cup of coffee there. So you're putting him at like 10 and a half minutes for the quarter. I can't imagine 3.5 isn't a decent enough look. Fourth K for Sonny. Well, they have to all be Ks. Every single one of these has to be a strikeout. We don't have a choice. Every single thing has to be a strikeout for Sonny Gray here. And we have the sweat of like ABS, which I still don't think ESPN knows how to handle. Generally speaking, I'm on Baseball Savant, but then my computer runs slower, so it is what it is. But yeah, whatever. Whatever. Let's take a look at the MLB tool and then get ourselves a couple more cards and get out of here. How does that sound? The edge would be considerably smaller with 29.5, 30.5 lines versus 14.5 and 15.5. Yes. Also depends what market, also depends what stat category. PRA, the difference between 14.5 and 15.5 PRA and 29.5 and 30.5 PRA, like if you're talking about somebody who's going to play very few minutes, that could be identical. But if you're talking points for like a majority of anybody, yes. The edge would be smaller, 29.5 to 30.5, than it would be 14.5 to 15.5, because the stat category, like points, you're looking at like your distribution curve, going to be different. I don't want to say every size fits all and every single category. Oh, never mind overturned. Yeah, see, that I had a feeling that was coming. Overturned strikeout. Dead. You cock teased me, man. You cock teased me. Get rid of ABS. I hate it, actually. If he strikes out these next two, I'm going to be especially tilted now because there's no way he's coming out in the 7th inning. No chance. So it's dead now. That hurts. Minnesota game delayed. Yeah, it was like a 1 o'clock start time. They moved it because freezing butt cold out there. I don't know why freezing butt cold. Cincy, Texas. Let's take a look at that too. Welly Marte hit just to get a hit on PrizePicks. Don't hate it. Let's combine these together. I like that Detmers one a lot still. Let's get another iteration. Because again, one way to work around limits is you can play up to $25 on any square. But I can only play $5 a card, so it's not that big of a deal. I can still build it up enough where I can make a comfortable number. I mean, it sucks because I can't bet 50 or 100 on cards I want to, but, got Underdog for that. Let's go to Noel V. It's funny because we're on the over of outs for Mackenzie Gore, and yet Noel V. Marte looking all right. Best available. Corey Seager. We're almost to Corey Seager Island. Might have to get a double dong bet in here before that game starts in 15 minutes. Ben Rice goes yard. Yankees and Dodgers. Who'd have thunk it? Everybody? Oh, okay. Literally everybody would thunk it? Yeah, there you go. Under outs for Nola. Over singles for Bryson Stott. Interesting. And that Adolis Garcia one's gone down in terms of EV. Chicago. I am on the over of 3.5 strikeouts for Cade Horton. I've bet that already. Under 15.5. Close. Close to playable. Right from the get-go. Bregman singles again. I said the singles have had a lot of value for Pick'em. Nothing really else there. Baltimore. Oh, yeah. This is probably your best one, even though it's plus 101 elsewhere. Mitch Keller, under 15.5 outs. Baltimore has lefties. Comeback Keller. I don't think I talked about him this morning. I didn't talk about him this morning. Comeback Keller. Comeback Keller. I say that because his career was dead, and he reinvigorated it by like finding out some version of like keeping lefties in the yard, even in PNC, which is, you know, kind of what it is. But 358 ex-WOBA against lefties, that can't be fun. That can't be fun. It's not that far off of market, plus 101. 25.5 fantasy points seems high too. We got our fantasy projections here. Walks allowed, kind of an interesting one as well, but lower on pitching outs. We're going to combine that with something. Lindy, you still like Muncy? I absolutely like Max Muncy of the Athletics. I did not do anything with Max Muncy of the Dodgers. Need Abreu to come through for us this inning. I would love that. He was such a good bet. Last year, I mean, yeah. Will your Abreu home run could change the fortunes of 1,000 sons or whatever the shit. It's coming up last in this inning. I'll stay on to watch the Abreu at bat. To watch that live. I need a home run celebration in my life. Funny, because all I could do was celebrate home runs at the beginning of the week, and then yesterday, one game turned the tide on me. But that's how home runs go. I didn't expect it to stay that way forever. I just need to keep being smart. Keep putting out good plays. Keep on keeping on, as they would say. Let's find another NBA play, too. There are a lot of interesting spots. Nick Richards. Anybody see the Bazelis rebounds last time out? I do want to look at the splits of that while we're waiting for Abreu to come up. Nick Richards looks ridiculous if he plays. 15.5. We're way above that points plus rebounds. Points even look doable over here. That might actually be an all right way to do Underdog. If Richards gets scratched, who gives a shit? You just get it refunded. That's the other nice. That's probably the most advantageous thing nobody's talked about when it comes to firing these up. Like, you get 2-pick cards. Now, instead of having a leg voided and it turns into like a minus 142 per leg on the 2 legs, where it's like paying out 3x, you just get this voided by playing a 2-pick, and if he ends up in, it's positive EV. But also, I think the way that we really do it is we take the Richards over there and we look at Bazelis rebounds, even though those are inflated. Those are inflated numbers for Bazelis, because he played a lot of like small ball 5 stuff. Anyabu is not really a 5, if we're being honest. Like, he's more of a 4. Barnes assists still popping every site. DeMar DeRozan still popping every site. Io still the best play I think that we found on PrizePicks. The DeRozan one I'd have to look at a little bit more carefully. I will after this show, but this is checked from a market base where it's close to our number and our projections are just there. Plus, I'm getting the push on 4. So the market projections are actually for 3.5 and 4.5. So it's targeting 4.5. Like the difference of the two. And so it's adjusting it. And we're in a really good spot with those 4 rebounds there. Jabari Smith doesn't pass, so I don't mind that. Under 2.5. Probably won't fire it, but Wilson Contreras goes yard just to cock tease us right beforehand. So whomever that was that said their fantasy teams needs him, there's that. Scotty Barnes triple doubles moved a ton. I'm sure it has. A lot of people have been betting that recently, but I like the under of 8.5 assists for him a lot more as like a baseline play. Also, rebound rate with Jakob Poeltl out there. Sandro Mamukashvili out there. Colin Murray-Boyle's in the rotation. Like, I don't know if I'm in love with that. Plus, against Memphis, yeah. Can you absolutely get in a competitive game where it shoots out? Sure. 233.5. Higher than your average Toronto total. I can tell you that off the top of my head. Toronto, bottom 10 in pace in the NBA. But guess what Memphis is? Top 10 in pace. So we're definitely getting more possessions. Terrible defense, no big down there, period. So yeah, rebounds are more plentiful, but Jakob Pertl exists. Abreu, do it. Oh, they're just replaying Contreras going yard again. Cool. Cool. Please get out so we get Michael King up there and they don't bring in a lefty. That would really suck. Here you go. Willier, please. Please. Get my day going. Get my day going, please. Shit. That doesn't do us anything. Absurd. He's had a lot of assists. I get that. Brandon Ingram off the injury report. Before you go, Lindy, what do you prefer? Nick Richards, 15.5 PR, or Miles Turner under 17.5 PRA? Probably the Turner PRA. Definitely the Turner PRA. In fact, so much so that it's going to go on the card. Need one more thing. And then you said Nick Richards, points plus rebounds. That just looked good in general to me. Don't forget there's void risk. Very much void risk. 15.5 the baseline there. Yeah, we like 15.5 there. I like them both. We just have to kind of make sure that it's a 6-pick card where you embrace the injury risk. I'll get that posted then here right after this program. But it has now been 2 hours. We did an hour and 45-minute show, or a 2-hour show for the MLB research show. We did a 2-hour show for Pick'em. We talked through some NBA plays. I'm going to go get some NBA bets together for everybody as well. But yeah, no, these are both very solid plays that you identified. They're great market-based primary plays, no doubt about it. Richard's popping in our projections. I know that too. So yeah, just know that you want to build out a 6-pick card. I wouldn't want to build out 3-pick and get one of those legs voided. That would probably be hurtful. Scotty can tie LeBron for most 10 assist games in a row for a forward tonight. Doesn't mean it'll be successful, but I can't imagine they don't try to feed it. Jamal Shed off the bench helps them feed it as is. Obviously, that assist rate has gone bonkers, but you look at the year-long data here. Also, Brandon Ingram was out for a number of those games. Brandon Ingram is definitely going to absorb some usage. Plus, if they just beat the absolute doors off of it, they're not going to have him out there in a game just to get to 10 assists. That'd be silly Sally activity. Didn't play. Played here and 0 assists. That's not going to be the typical as well. So Brandon Ingram changes it up a tiny bit for me. Enough so, and again, feel all right with 8.5 there. Clintwood, thanks. Appreciate you, my guy. Flip PR, I like it. I'll take a look at that here after this program as well. But guys, this was a blast. What a fun day. What a fun day to be able to put all this together. I'm going to go watch a little baseball and build out some more goodness for the people over in the Lindy and Friends Discord. There's a link to sign up down below for that as well. But this is completely free to you. It would almost be silly not to take advantage of it. It is Lindy 100, free 7-day stochastic MLB props trial. We're trying to get as much information as possible about this tool, about how we can improve it, what we can do, and also it's the best data in the industry. We're talking the data that has made people millions of dollars on the DFS side. And I do mean millions upon millions of dollars on the DFS side, now being integrated into our prop offerings. Check it out, Lindy 100 at the link below. And with that, friends, I am Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB and NBA streets tonight, and pick 'em everything across the board. Let's have a day. Willie or Abreu, let's hit a late home run in the 8th. That would make me happy.